Welcome back to the Red Zone. We're joined now by senior corner Scott Hogan and junior linebacker and special teams maven Jim Bardusk. Scott, I think I've asked every defensive guy that's come on here this year, what's been the key to your guys' renaissance in 2010?
I just have to say a lot more focus from everybody. Everybody's putting their time in the film room and stuff. And I think we're just a lot smarter this year than last year. I mean, everybody's a year older. We pretty much brought everybody back from last year. So we got more experience, and we're just, playing smarter than we did last year.
And it's got to make your job a lot easier when those front seven guys are flying around as much as they are and making as many plays this year. When I know I was talking to Josh, he says on pass plays, you guys just get back in your drops and you know they're going to take care of the pressure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, we don't have to worry about run pretty much at all. And even when we are in man coverage, we only got to cover them for, 2 or 3 seconds at most because our D-line is pressuring quarterbacks. And even when they're not, the quarterbacks think they're getting pressured. So it's a really nice situation for us.
Definitely a corner's dream.
Yeah, definitely.
And Jim, you're a guy that's made a big impact on special teams, 15 tackles this year, the forced fumble. How tough is it to make that transition from being a linebacker that, has to read, shed blocks, and then when you get into every phase in special teams, it seems like you have to do it all?
Well, a lot of it's just playing fast. You just run down there as fast as you can, and you just make plays on the fly. And
how many playbooks do you have? Do you have to go to all these extra meetings since you're in all these phases? I know Coach Thorne is big on the special teams. Does your head ever kind of get mixed up at all?
No. I spend a lot of time watching films and, going to meetings and everything like that. So by the end of the week, we have everything situated.
And, it seems like you always hear about offensive guys, defensive guys in the film room. But I know you guys spend a lot of time in special teams meetings. What kind of things can you look for when you're looking at another team's special teams and trying to find a couple holes or something like that?
Well, we really watch where people are set up to give us like a hint to where they're going to run the ball. Like on kickoff, if somebody's lined up a little bit outside, we can, tell if they're going to run the return that way or the other way. So that really benefits us.
And we were kind of chatting about it a little bit. How much fun is kickoff team being able to run down there full speed and, kind of lay into a guy?
Oh, it's the most fun on the field.
And Coach, I know these special teams units, you coach them up, you have the meetings every week. Kind of how valuable is a guy like Jim who can kind of contribute on every phase and kind of bring everything to the table for every part of the special teams game?
Right. He's a great linebacker. And if we could put linebackers at every single spot on special teams, usually you would be a great special teams unit, But Jimmy's been doing it for a couple years now, and he's just gets better and better and better, and all the other guys are watching what's Jimmy doing, and they're learning how to do their techniques a lot better by just paying attention to what this guy does. He's been the most valuable on our special teams all year.
And Scott, you're a fifth-year senior on this team, and let's be honest. Every time this year, when we have a team that's in your guys' position, playing as well as you are, a lot of people seem to be looking ahead, but every time you hear from a player, it's one game at a time. Every time you hear from a coach, it's one game at a time. As we saw in the first segment, that's what all you guys were saying on Saturday. Why are you guys different?
I don't know, maybe just because of how last year panned out. I know last year we had all the preseason, rankings and everything. And I don't think we let it get to our head, but, maybe we just lost focus here or there. And this year, it's just been every week on our game plan it says go 1-0 this week. So, that's just really what we've been focusing on. You can't do anything weeks ahead without taking care of what you got, the current week.
And you alluded to it a little bit earlier, the veteran presence on this defense. You guys have so many juniors and seniors. Do you really think that's what helps you guys kind of stay focused and not catch yourselves looking ahead on the schedule?
Yeah, it definitely helps. Because I know we have a few younger guys that play, but they can look at some of the guys like Matt and Derek and, see what they're doing and how they're watching film and everything and, just follow after them.
Well, last weekend's homecoming game was broadcast live right here on NCTV 17. In this week's Cardinal Corner, we go behind the scenes to see what goes into putting the Cardinal football on the air. Find something, looking to scramble now. When NCTV put out its live broadcast of the homecoming game against Wesleyan, what you saw on your television or computer screen was this. are the only team in the conference that took down the Cardinals.
28-22 in overtime. Tough loss for the Cardinals last year.
But behind the scenes, many man-hours went into putting the broadcast on the air. It starts with the cameras, most notably the end-zone camera that brought great isolation images like these. The fifth camera was added to this season's broadcast on loan from engineer Mike Lebowski.
A decent camera guy, he becomes good. If you have a good cameraman, he can become great.
After demoing the camera, it's time to pack hundreds of feet of cable like this, along with the other components of the broadcast, into the van. Once everything's packed and the van makes it to the stadium, it's time to take the same stuff back out.
Right now we've got a bunch of boxes. It's not very exciting. Unpack the boxes, it will be cool.
From there, it's to the elevator and up to the fourth floor and the press box, where the whole broadcast setup starts to come together. Director Will Armistead surveys the scene for what will be his first ever football broadcast the next afternoon.
You know, I don't even think that I realize that it's live. I'm not even thinking that it's live. It's just exciting because it's something new that we only get to do once a year, and I think that's what really makes it enjoyable, and that's what really makes it special, is because you're only doing it once or twice a year.
So Will presses the buttons that determine what video makes it to the television screen, but not without a complicated route for the video to make it into the homes of football fans.
So the video is going to be coming in through the window into these monitors, loop through the monitors to the TriCaster, which is going to be right here, and then to the recording deck and then back out. So it's going to crisscross several times to get where it needs to go.
All those steps just to bring a game to living rooms in Naperville and computers throughout the world. But when it all comes together, it's definitely worth it. Crackle in the offense back on the field. Joe Antonacci with the motion. They fake it to him on the jet sweep. Crackle trying to avoid trouble. He does. Looking deep. That's for Manny Juarez. He makes the catch and runs into the end zone for the touchdown. That's a 49-yard touchdown for the Cardinals on first down. And coming out in the second half, putting a big exclamation point on the board. 13-0 Cardinals, pinning the extra point. Now, guys, if you guys win this game on Saturday, Coach Thorne will tie Gordon Fisher's record for most victories in school history. And Jim, I kind of want to get your perspective on this. Being around this program, this is your third year here, why do you think he's been so successful?
I think it's just him leading as an example. Everybody really strives to, be where he is, and just the morals he has, really helps everybody come together as a team.
And Scott, I know, a lot of people talking when he made the transition from the high school game to the college game was that a lot of these principles that you see on a high school team aren't going to translate. But, looking at you guys with the togetherness you have and kind of everything that goes into it, it really has translated, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Coach Thorne does a really good job of, letting us know that he does, care for us. I've been on teams before where you kind of get the feeling that the coach is just looking out for himself, and coach is always looking out for his players and, making us feel like, he cares a lot.
And Coach, I know 9 seasons here, and, I know that, did you think it was going to happen this quickly 9 years ago when you got here, all the success you guys have had?
Well, I never really thought about it. It's the players' game. Mm-hmm. We try to hang on to the fact that it's the college's program, mm-hmm. but every year it's for the seniors. You want the best possible you can possibly have for that senior class, and you try and get all the young guys to buy into that and so forth. And so, when you get guys that buy into it, you're going to win games. Mm-hmm. When you do the right things, and when we get guys like this, that Scott and Jimmy, that they're just great examples on campus, in the classroom, around football. I mean, when you have enough players like that, it's pretty hard to lose, really. Mm-hmm. So the winning's gonna happen.
For sure. And guys, as we look ahead to Saturday, Scott, Elmhurst quarterback Joe Furco, he was a freshman last year, really struggled, but coming in this year, it looks like a season of seasoning has really helped him. What are you guys looking at when you see him on tape these last couple days, and what can we expect to see from you guys when you go up against the Blue Jays on Saturday?
Oh yeah, he's definitely improved a lot this year. I'm sure his coaches have done a good job, getting him ready. And we know they like to throw the ball. They got a couple good receivers. They're just young. So, we got a couple schemes that we've been working on, and we're just gonna keep, taking care of our own business, and hopefully it works out.
And these last 2 road trips you guys have, you know, are the shorter ones. You don't have to stay in the hotel overnight. How nice is it being able to just, you know, get on the bus 3 hours before the game and make your way over there without having to do all the other stuff?
It's nice. I mean, the away games aren't too bad just because then you get to, when you're in the hotel, you can just focus on the game and everything. But I definitely like being at home, sleeping in my own bed before the game, you know, get a good night's sleep. You know, it makes it a lot easier the next day to get ready for the game.
And Jim, what's your take on it? It seems like, you know, you see a lot of teams that, you know, even on home games at some of the other like D1, D2 levels, you see these guys staying at a hotel overnight. But does it make a difference when you get to sleep at home the night before making your way over on a short bus trip?
I really enjoy it because I don't sleep very well in hotels, but being able to spend the whole day just, you know, focusing on football is really nice. But I do the same thing, you know, on Fridays, you know, at the dorm, you know. It's very nice.
Kind of keep you in a groove a little bit?
Yeah.
We'll keep it right here because after the break, we'll take a look at the entire Cardinal athletic picture when SID Clark Tusher hops on set to tell us what he knows.